Welcome to part 4 of our tutorial on creating a skateboarding icon. So in this last tutorial we are going to create the final and 64 pixel glyph version of the icon. So we started with the mini versions, 32 pixel outline and glyph, then we moved up to 64 and now it's time for the 64 glyph version. Okay, once again we use the outline version as reference for getting the 64 glyph version. Okay, so we can first of all we're going to switch fill and stroke because we don't need a stroke in this version. I think the head is not big enough for the moment. Let's keep it this way. Okay, so how are we going to use these elements and get from this the glyph version? So we can do something like that. Let's enable the grid. We can try to say within the outline icon while we are creating the shapes of the new one. Okay, so first of all, so we have the first path, then we can create the leg. Here we go, with the other leg as well. Then we can, for the body, so we are using another line like this with a cap, which this time is a butt cap, and then we can increase the size of this element, which is basically is going to be the thickness of the body of your icon. So maybe we can go even further. 12 pixel looks fine. Now if we remove the path of the outline icon, so we have kind of a funny version of the icon. So but what we can do is just take the arms and legs, select them, and then increase their size. So here we go. It's pretty cool. So maybe the legs we can make them slightly bigger compared to the arms. If I zoom out a little, I don't know how I feel about the body. I'm thinking about making it slightly larger. Okay, for the moment let's stick with a stroke of 12 pixel for the body. Okay, now we have to, once again, we have to resize the shapes because now they look kind of strange. We can get these two anchor points here closer, this one closer as well. We can push this down a little, and then we can hide this leg here because this is the last piece we are going to refine, and we can move this down even more. Maybe it's too much. Let's go up a little bit. So as you can see, with these icons, a lot is about experimenting and trying to find a good shape, a good balance between the shapes of your icon. So one thing we know for sure is that the head is too far away from the body. We can get it closer, like this. We can move the body up just by 1 pixel. And yes, you can see the icon is taking shape. What about the skateboard? We can change the cap to round. We can switch the fill for this icon as well. So maybe the wheels are too small. We can just increase them by 1 pixel, and then we can get them closer to the skateboard. Here we go. So we have about 4 pixel here as margin from the head. We can try to do the same at the bottom, resize, and move this up a little. Okay. Now we can since this element here has a node stroke, we can move it by half pixel so that it's now once again aligned to the grid. This is going to be obviously our leg. I want to move this up. As you can see, Illustrator doesn't allow me to keep the icon within the grid, so I can just go and switch and turn on the snap to pixel option. Now when I go up, I can actually keep the icon aligned to the grid. Okay, so we are very close now. What we want to do now is taking these elements and we can actually expand them. There we go. Now we want to reduce the sides, just like we did in the previous tutorial. We want to reduce the sides of the wrists. Going to reduce them by 1 pixel. Now in this case, since the stroke used was 6 pixels for the arms, I can just create a circle of 5 by 5 and turn off snap to grid, and I need to turn off snap to pixels as well. I can switch to outline mode, and once again I can move this up a little, select this anchor point and move it. We are not getting rid of this because I'm going to use this for the legs as well. Let's switch back to the preview mode. Now we can select the hands, let's say, kind of fake hands, and we can make just a circle at the end of the arms. Okay, now we have to we can take this element, move this down a little, take this one, and we can join them basically. This one as well, just a little bit. And for the leg, I'm going to move this 1 pixel as well. Then I still want to create a small margin between the leg and the skateboard, so I'm going to take the rectangle tool and select about 2 pixels of the leg and just remove this element here. Now we can take body and leg, we can merge them so that we can select this point here and increase the corner. So we have a nice round butt for our icon. We are getting closer. I'm not really happy with the leg. It kind of seems there is a piece cut off, and we're going to fix this later. Let's bring back the other leg. We can move it up a little. There we go. And then we can, maybe more here, we can expand this leg as well. This one is 5 by 5. We can change its size to 6 by 6 and use it as a reference to decrease the size of the ankle as well. Okay, let's remove this one. Selecting body. Now make sure this is on top of the leg. You can do that by pressing Shift, Command, and right square bracket. So this moves, basically this moves this layer on top of all the other layers. Then I'm going to select Object, Path, Offset Path, 2 pixels is fine. Select the leg as well, and then remove. We can select this over here and drag it. Now you can see the icon is looking fine already. I just want to push it up a little. Thing I don't really like is just this one, this part of the leg. So I want to fix it, and I think all I have to do is just, there we go, move it down of a couple of pixels. Then we can do this, and it's fine. It's not rounded, but that's just because this is the margin between the skateboard and the leg. So this kind of cutting out an element is fine just in this specific case, because if we do that, the leg is going to look too short. So we should do something like this and then this. But in icons, as with logos, I think it's fine to have some white space. So we are keeping the white space. And I think the icon is good to go. We can just select everything to make sure all the elements have been expanded. So I click on expand. We can merge these two elements here. Here we go. I'm going to ungroup all the elements just to make sure there is no useless group in the SVG code. We are good to go. We can export this icon as well. So we have the 64 pixel glyph version, which is going to be exported into just a simple folder. Export the artboard. So once again, let's get Nucleo. We were saving all of our icons into the skateboarding icons set. We can grab the 64 pixel glyph as well and drag it over the application and import it. So here we go. As you can see, we have just completed all of our icons. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed all the tutorials and that you learned some interesting tricks along the way. I'll be back with more tutorials soon, and see you.